Everyone, it's Rebecca from the Glitch Stitchery. I'm here today with my December Paradise Fibers opening and spin. So I don't really know what's in this, but it has a really pretty bag this time. It's kind of snowflake design. So let's get this open and see what we've got. Alright. Trying to find the paper first so we can... Okay. It's just yeah, they're both here. So we've got Swiss Miss, featuring a new alpaca merino blend and white yak top. Ooh, yak is really nice. It's fancy. Alright. So, get this stuff all out. Okay. So we've got 2 ounces of de-haired yak down, which is generally crazy soft, and it is. That'll be really fun to spin. I think that's more of a spindle project. I don't know if I can spin that on my wheel or not, but I might try. Then we have 3 shades of alpine blends, and we get 2 ounces of each of the 3 shades. So these are white baby alpaca with 23 micron merino. So I've got I think I have Matterhorn blue, Monteviso purple, and Eiger gray, I think. Let's see. It's blue, gray, and can't get it out, purple. These are crazy soft too. These are awesome. Oh man, I don't even know how I'm gonna match everything together because we have 8 ounces of fiber total and I don't know what I'm gonna do with what. Alright, so what was the project for this month? They have some ideas on how to spin everything. And they have a thrummed mitten project, which I'm probably not going to make because that seems like a waste of the yak down, but I have always wanted to make thrummed mittens, just probably not this time around. So then for the little baggie, has a cute little Nordic design on it. So we've got Christmas Eve tea, which is cinnamon, of course, so I will put that aside. And a little gnome hat type of deal thing, sticker. Sheep, I guess. It doesn't really look very sheep-like. What else is in here? That's different. What are these made of? 2 naturally shed Pacific Northwest white-tailed deer antler buttons. Well, that's cool. Let's see if I can... I don't know if I can make it focus on something that small. They are really cool though. I don't know what I'll do with them, but they're cool. And then just a stitch marker. Alright. I have no idea how I'm going to spin these. I'm going to have to think about it. I think I like the purple with the gray, and maybe the yak with the blue, and then do 3-ply. But I'm not actually sure how that would work. So I'm going to have to think about that. But I will get the wheel set up and figure it out. And we'll be right back with spinning. Alright, so I was thinking about it and I think I know what I want to do with my Paradise Fibers for this month. So I'm going to set aside the yak because I really want to spindle spin that, and actually I hurt my back this week, so spindle spinning isn't really going to be possible. But I'm going to strip these down and we're going to do a self-striping-ish yarn that we will then end ply. Now this is the one time the end ply really shines, I think, when you're trying to keep colors all separated nicely. It's also nice when you don't have a huge amount of singles and you don't want to split them between multiple bobbins, or if you're using up scraps. But if we break these into smaller pieces that are roughly even, and then set up in order and keep to that order, and then end ply the end results, we'll end up with a self-striping-ish 3-ply yarn. So let's get started. really quick tutorial on end plying. I'm going to do a whole real video on this in the future, but I just wanted to show you what I'm doing. So what you start with is a loop, and then you have the yarn. So when I first started, all of my leaders on my bobbins are loops to make this easier, but you take the singular strand, pull it through the loop, making a new longer loop, and then when the single and the loop meet, it makes a 3-strand. So you go from 1 strand to 3. So as it's plying, you let those 3 strands ply together, and then when you get to the end of the loop, you pull the single strand through the loop, creating a new loop. Very much like doing a chain in crochet, just, you know, very elongated. So again, you keep letting the 3 strands ply together, pull the individual strand through the loop, make a longer loop, let them wind together, gently feed it in, and this is easier at a fairly slow ratio. I normally do this spindle plying, but occasionally I'll do this on the wheel. It's a little bit more complicated just because you have to keep up with the wheel. So just slow yourself down until you find a comfortable rhythm. Feed it in slowly. When it gets to be about this size, that's when I pull through again. You don't want it to get too small because then you'll choke your fingers. It's not fun. All right, right about there, pull through. And this way you get a 3-ply without interrupting the order of your colors or having to spin multiple bobbins that somehow magically match, because that's not easy to do. That said, if you're trying to go for socks, in my tests, this way of plying is the weakest. So my end ply 3-ply yarn disintegrated first. It is an easy thing to do, just don't use it for something like that. All right, keep going. And I have the bobbin with the singles over on a Lazy Kate on my desk. You can't quite see it, but that way it's at a good angle for me to pull from. My wheel does have a built-in Lazy Kate at the bottom, but I find that when I put the singles down there for this, they get tangled around the con rods. So having a Lazy Kate has been a life changer. Definitely get one. Alright, so that's all there is to it. It's not super difficult. And like I said, I will do a whole video on this in the future, both showing how to start it as well as how to do it if you're using a spindle instead of a wheel, because that's a little bit different. And there's also this really cool thing with a spindle where you can do something called the, what was it, sit and ply, park and ply? I think it's called park and ply, where you spin the singles and then immediately ply them. And I used to love doing that before I got a wheel. It was just very instant gratification. So I'll do a video on that in the future, I absolutely promise. Maybe around to the fleece. All right, back to... Alright, so that finishes up my Paradise Fibers spin for this month. I'm really happy with how this came out. It's very soft. I can tell it's going to be pretty drapey because of the amount of alpaca in it. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with it. If I wove with it, it would have to be the weft because it is too fuzzy to use for the warp. I am thinking I might use it for Tunisian crochet though, because I have that new book and I want to try some of the patterns in it, and a self-striping yarn would work really well for that. As for the yak fiber, I will be using that for a fiber study in the future, so you can look forward to that. In the meantime, I hope you have a good rest of your week, and thank you so much for watching.